Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. In this episode, we're going to talk about Gearbox. Gearbox has decided that they're going to open up a new studio in Montreal, Canada. So Gearbox is a studio behind the popular Borderlands franchise. They announced basically they're opening a new studio in Montreal, Canada, and they basically invested $158 million into the studio, creating another 250 jobs. The studio basically is going to continue working on Borderlands and an unnamed IPs. So some other IPs that have yet to be listed yet. I like Gearbox. I like Borderlands games. They're kind of be hit or miss. The last Borderlands I really wasn't too into. I love the Handsome Jack collection. That's probably the funniest Borderlands in my opinion. But this is really good news for Montreal, right? In Montreal, Canada, they just got a new gaming studio, which is going to create 250 new jobs and $158 million invested in the studio by the parent company. That's pretty awesome. I don't know what else we could expect to see out of Gearbox, but they usually put out pretty good games. Shane, what are your thoughts on this, man? What do you think about the Gearbox opening up a new studio in Montreal?
I don't know. I like Borderlands. I didn't like, just like you, I didn't really care for the last one. I'm more interested to see them do something new. The Handsome Jack collection definitely is the funniest of the group. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But there's, I don't know, their games are a little more missed than hit, in my opinion. But I think they do have talent. I think they need to stick with what they're good at. My problem with the Borderlands and a lot of their games is it's more of the same. They just go bigger. Like Assassin's Creed, it's always more of the same, but bigger and bigger and bigger. I would like to see them concentrate because they have great script writers. Because Borderlands, even the last one, even though I didn't care as much for the game, it had a lot of funny crap in there. It had a lot of, just makes you keep playing the game stuff. But the combat was, more the same. That's the problem. But I am excited to see what they come up with new. That's one thing I'm probably most excited about. Besides creating 250 jobs, another game studio is always a bonus. But I don't know. But to me, I'm on the fence about it because I'm worried about them just throwing down another Gearbox, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with a new game. So, Nick, what about you, bud?
Yeah, I don't know. Gearbox is always hit and miss, and I'm the same. I wasn't into Borderlands 3 as much as I liked 2. I really loved Borderlands 2, played the crap out of 2. And just didn't really find that same love for 3. I'm not sure why. It was pretty much more the same. Maybe that's the problem. But yeah, that's cool. It's good for Montreal. They're going to have some new job openings and be able to hire some people. And maybe they'll make some new Borderlands games, and that's always good. Borderlands is a pretty good franchise. Maybe they'll make Alien Colonial Marines 2, or maybe Duke Nukem Forever 2. Who knows? But hopefully not. So yeah, Gearbox as a studio itself, like Gearbox back in the day was awesome, because Gearbox back in the day, they did things like Half-Life, Blue Shift, and Opposing Forces, and they worked with the Counter-Strike Condition Zero and Counter-Strike and stuff like that, and even did the PC release of Halo Combat Evolved back in the day, as well as Brothers in Arms, and they did a lot, or worked with Brothers in Arms, and some pretty good franchises like that. So they have their hit and misses. It's really not like this Gearbox is not really a steady stream of awesome games. It's kind of like they bring an awesome game and then they bring a crap game. They bring an awesome game and they bring a crappy game. And so it's really hit and miss with this studio. But hopefully with this new Montreal studio, Ubisoft also has a Montreal studio that brings out some fantastic games. So maybe we'll see the same thing here with Gearbox. and where this studio and those developers down in Montreal will make some awesome games that we love to play. And it's great to see that Gearbox is expanding and opening up a new studio. So yeah, I mean, all in all, it's a good thing, so hopefully we're seeing some good stuff out of this studio. What about you, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, and let's all not forget that Gearbox has a publishing arm of its corporation too. I mean, they published Godfall, We Happy Few, Risk of Rain 2, just a few. I wasn't a fan of We Happy Few, but they're just a publisher of that stuff. So they published some really good games. This is kind of interesting news though, coming after, they were just purchased. They were purchased sometime this year. They were purchased back in February, I think, of this year by the Embracer Group, who also acquired Easy Brain and Aspire. We talked about Aspire before because Aspire is the port company that do a lot of game ports from one system to another, and then Easy Brain makes a lot of mobile games and crap. So, I mean, Embracer Group bought Gearbox for like $1.3 billion. So it sounds like they're pumping more money into them, and Gearbox already had 550 employees, so they're basically adding an additional 50% onto their workforce, it sounds like. So Embracer seems to have just dumped some money into them, which is what these acquisition companies usually do. They dump a bunch of money into them and hope to flip them in the next 2 to 10 years for a lot more money. So that spells good for them. I mean, Embracer Group is, they're behind subsidiaries like THQ Nordic, and then like Koch Media. So they're, they have a lot of money to throw around, and it sounds like they're throwing a lot of it Gearbox's way. Hopefully they come out really, really good IP that we haven't heard of yet. I mean, I like the art style of their games, of Borderland games. I mean, that's one of the most unique things about Borderlands is their art style, and then their comedy. Their comedy is just raunchy and off the hilt, so that's what's really funny about them. I mean, there's something funny about the monster stealing Claptrap's eye and getting it stuck up his ass, So it's they have a really good sense of comedy. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys played the Telltale game for Borderlands, Tales from Borderlands. There's the whole scene in that whole game where all these people are killing each other with finger guns. They're all pew, 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 and they're shooting each other with finger guns, and then they all get up and be like, good job, good job, good job, So Borderlands has its own sense of humor and comedy. I will never forget Butt Stallion. I will never forget Handsome Jack. We'll never forget any of that stuff because of that game and Claptrap. So I like that, but I will agree with you guys. In my opinion, Borderlands 3 was it fell on its face, in my opinion. But
yeah, like I said, and you even brought up, they have great writers. They made one of my favorite games, at least produced, I believe. Brothers in Arms Road to Hell Highway is fantastic. Great story, great gameplay. So they make some good stuff, but Nick, I think you were wrong about their good to bad game ratio. I think it's awesome game, crap, maybe crap, awesome, crap, awesome, crap, awesome. Probably about like that.
You're probably right.
But it's a good thing though, because the more people they bring in, that's more talent. It's more new talent.
And here's the thing about Gearbox, I will say, with that, good game, bad game scenario or ratio you're talking about. Even though it is bad, good, the good is fantastic. That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're definitely right. That's how they've stayed in business. Their good games are so good they make up for the 2 or 3 turds that they push out. Randy Pitchford is I don't like the dude. There's been a lot about him that has come out that really pisses me off. But I'm not going to get into that turd bucket, but I can tell you this: new games studio means new employees mean new games, and hopefully they bring in talent. Hopefully they bring in fresh talent with people with ideals that just, hey, why did we never think of that? That's awesome. But do something besides Borderlands. Bring me back Road to Hell's Highway. Bring me back Brothers in Arms. Bring me back Duke Nukem. Just make them not crap. They have.
Let's see a good new homeworld that they're putting out. Well, I guess they're not developing this new homeworld. They're unfortunately just publishing it for Blackbird. I think Blackbird, yeah.
Yeah, and most importantly, Bring me back Samba de Amigo with the drums from the Dreamcast. I want that. Be sitting in my room, dropping my beat.
Yeah, I think they make pretty good games. I mean, one of the only things I can think of in recent times that they were part of was that Aliens Colonial Marines. That was kind of a
disaster.
Really yeah, I was trying to be nice, but yes, it's a disaster.
No, that was the military equivalent of FUBAR. That thing was terrible. But I think a game like that though is hard to make because of nostalgia. Nostalgia hurts things, but it was also just a shit game. But
cool. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's good for those guys. Like I said, they published a lot of stuff. They do make good stuff. I mean, outside of Borderlands 3, I really think they make a pretty good amount of games that are pretty decent. Like we've all said, Brothers in Arms, Borderlands, the Aliens Colonial Marines was bad. They've done quite a bit of stuff. And like Nick had mentioned all the Half-Life stuff in the beginning. I mean, come on. That's really good.
I mean, I love Blue Shift and Opposing Forces. Those were great additions to Half-Life.
Maybe we'll get a Half-Life 3. Hell no.
Confirmed. Gearbox,
do it. Do it.
All right, guys. I mean, great news for Gearbox. Sounds like their acquisition was a positive thing and the company's not downsizing the bottom. And really good news for Montreal, Canada. So anybody else got anything else they want to talk about Gearbox or Montreal before we head this one off? I mean, it sounds like every game studio's got a Montreal headquarters anymore.
I like maple syrup.
Montreal is the gaming capital of the world, I think. I mean, there's a butt ton of those developers there, which is awesome.
Right. Maybe this means they'll get some really good talent brought in, like you said. Mm-hmm. Fresh talent means fresh blood, which means fresh ideas.
Yep, and I'll take it in a heartbeat, baby.
All right. Well, everybody, let us know what you think. Do you live in Montreal? If you do, let us know. You're going to get a job at Gearbox? We need some new friends, right?
Mm-hmm. Buddies.
Let us know. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you like and subscribe to help support us so we can continue to do this. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.